I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Anyway, again, I don't know what to do. Woo! Too much water came out. As I was saying, I don't know what to do. I have somebody who bought something on eBay, no questions asked. You know, a lot of times you get somebody who'll say, will you take a little less, whatever, blah, 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 blah. This person didn't do anything. They just bought it. And then I happened to check them out, and they literally joined the day that they made the purchase. I think there's a phone number on there, and I'm going to call it tomorrow. And I'm going to need to leave another message explaining I want to make sure this order was placed. You know, I had one person one time put an order in and then pretend that their credit card got stolen. But then it turned out he just regretted the purchase or something like that. Another time I had somebody try something similar, but I already left a message prior to that, like asking them questions. So then when they tried to say they didn't order it, I said, then who left these messages back and forth about, you know, the purchase? So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave a call-in number because I'm pretty sure I saw a number with it. Then after I call the number, if I talk to them, I'm still going to leave them a message and say I want them to respond to the message so I know they placed the order. They can't turn around and say somebody stole my account, because you wouldn't be answering, you know, messages and all this other stuff. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. And don't get me wrong, I've had, out of the 15 years I've been in eBay, roughly anyway, I only had 2 people scam me. One was for a Burberry polo, and that's why I'm happy that eBay bought that, whatever it's called, where you send it to them first, they verify it to make sure it's real, then they send it to the person. Because too many people, either they're scammers or they just don't know better. Like the person who bought the Burberry polo a decade ago told me it didn't feel real, or it didn't feel like his other one. And I said, do you realize how many different polos Burberry makes? Matter of fact, the reason I was selling it is because my wife hates the way most of the Burberry shirts feel, because they were really, like, they didn't feel quality, but they were from the Burberry store. There were some that were like silky and smooth, and then there was some that felt more stiff, and she hated them. And that's why it was for sale. But anyway, I was, you know, either the person was being a scammer or they just didn't know no better. And either one, I hate dealing with both of them. That's why now that eBay bought again, I can't think of the name of it, but you send them the items, they check it out, make sure it's legit, and then send it to the buyer, and the buyer can't say nothing no more because it was authenticated. I guess it's a authentication center. They check it to make sure it's legit. And it leaves, you know, I'm definitely more comfortable selling items like that. Now, I almost wish they did that with everything. I know they can't because there's millions of items, but, you know, scammers say anything. Oh, he sent me a thing of bricks, or he sent this, or he sent that. You know, if you sent it to a place first and they checked it, then you know you're going to have no trouble. So I'm also gonna, I tried to call eBay, but of course, eBay, they don't have any numbers. I tried, I looked up, I Googled it, I did all kinds of things. They say if you need help, click here. Then they ask you what kind of help you want. You click here, and then they send you to like an automated message. I wanted to speak to somebody in person, and I just couldn't. Because one time I thought something wasn't looking right, and I spoke to somebody. I don't know how I got in touch with them then. This was a few years back, and they promised me, don't worry, if something goes wrong, we're going to look at, you with a decade's worth of great feedback versus somebody who just joined yesterday. But what you have to be worried about is somebody doing a credit card. Oh, that wasn't me. I didn't order it. Because then the credit card companies step in, and then it's very hard for you to beat that. Because then it's not that you sent anything wrong, it's somebody used a stolen credit card. So that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to verify that he ordered it. And as long as he verifies it in the message, it has to be in the message because I want it in black and white. But if not, I'll cancel it. It's the limited edition Evercade that you see in the picture, but it's the limited edition one. They came out with the regular version and they came out with the limited edition version. The limited edition version came with a controller. It came with a marquee for every title instead of just 3 marquees. I think it came with Sanwa, controls, and I don't remember what else. I have both of the limited edition versions. I have the one that you see there, and I have the Mega Man one. The Mega Man one I took out of the box, plugged it in, and used it for like 2 seconds. I'm contemplating on keeping that one. The Street Fighter one I didn't even take out of the box. To be honest, that's what happens when I buy things too quick, because that size is not a good size for me. I like the 3/4 scale. This is like a desktop. It kind of made no sense for me to buy it, but I saw it, thought it looked cool, so I bought both variations. And that happens with a lot of things. Sometimes I buy. I'm getting better. I'm getting better with not just buying things too quick. It happened with some RC cars recently because they came out with like a different color and something else, and I thought it was a new RC because it was like early in the morning. I placed the order, and then when I got it, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I got 2 of these already. It was the Vortex. So, yeah, I'm gonna end up selling one. Well, actually, I think the Vortex is what I'm giving away when I reach 500 subscribers. I said that's what I would do. So I'm not gonna sell it. But anyway, yeah, I have no idea what to do with it. Well, I told you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call the number, and then if I speak to somebody, I'm gonna tell them to leave a message I'm gonna leave them a message, and I want them to write back so it's in black and white that they placed the order. And as long as they get back to me in the message, then at least if they say it was a stolen credit card, I could say, well, the credit card was stolen, but how was the email address and all the other stuff stolen? Yeah, it becomes a hassle when you got scammers. But like I said, I only got scammed twice. I got scammed for a Burberry shirt, and I got scammed for somebody. The other thing was so cheap. I laughed how they scammed me too. They bought a video game, like an old PlayStation or Xbox game. I don't remember what it was. Yes, Max. The game card for the Star Question. It's all in there, buddy. Hold on. back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. But like I said, I was talking about the eBay stuff. I only got scammed twice. One was on the Burberry thing. And what's funny is they put in a claim, and I spoke to eBay saying that's BS. And then they wanted like a receipt. And I said, it's a used shirt from 7 years ago. How am I going to get a receipt? I did call Burberry, and they said that's way too long. But anyway, long story short, Burberry told me they would give me a few days to figure it out. But then all of a sudden, after like an hour, they closed it. And I called up eBay. I said, you gave me 3 days. Basically, I cursed them out. And they basically ended up paying me. It was only like 80, 90 bucks. It wasn't something expensive. They paid me so I didn't lose it. And they told me to, like, basically they didn't like the way I talked to the person because I was calling them a scammer or stupid, one or the other. And they were like, oh, you can't talk to people like that. I said, if somebody's scamming me, I'm going to talk to them however I want. I said, I'm not a new jack. Everything I buy here, I don't buy to resell things. Everything I'm selling on eBay was mine. I bought for myself, and I don't buy stuff from like the corner store. All my stuff comes from either Burberry or Gucci or Louis. It comes from the actual stores in the Westchester Mall. Unless if they're selling something fake, which of course then that's not the case, all my stuff is legit. And I said, I don't even, that's why there's certain people, even if they didn't scam me and they just didn't know better, you could always tell there's easy people to work with and not easy to people. Like people who know what they're doing. I've sold items on eBay for when the Louis Vuitton Supreme collection came out. Originally, they were only letting people buy 3 items, and you couldn't even buy from the store. The rep had to call you. But I did so much business with the rep, the whole company, that they actually let my wife buy 3 and I buy 3. So I actually had 6 pieces. And of course, I bought pieces that originally I thought I wanted and I didn't. Now I only have 2 pieces left. I have the sneakers left and the jacket left. And I'm going to sell the jacket, the red leather jacket. I've seen people get 13, 14,000 for the size of my jacket. My jacket's mint. And I still have the sneakers. That's because they're comfortable. But I sold all the other pieces. But my point is, I've sold some pieces that were worth $6,000, $7,000 without a blink of an eye. And I didn't have a problem with the person. Then you have people who spend $80 on a polo, and you could tell the ones who ask you like 80 questions, it's going to be a problem. It's like, I should know better and just be like, nope, like it's an $80 used polo. And I get it. They want to make sure, they're getting their money's worth, but you can tell when somebody's going to be a problem or not. And it's always the case. You could always tell like who's the problem. And the other scam I got was with like a $50 game. And they got me because it was like a CD-based game, right? Like a PlayStation, whatever. And they asked me if I could open it, because it was a used game. Can I put a piece of tape across the inside like an X so that the CD don't move around when I ship it? I agreed to it. When they got it, they told me that the tape pulled the stuff off, like it messed up the CD basically. And I knew that wasn't the case because the tape I used wouldn't have done it. I mean, again, I'm like 99% sure they scammed me, and I laughed at it because I fell for it. They did ask me to put the tape there, and they did show me a CD that had like damage from tape removal, but I just didn't think it was mine. I mean, it wasn't in the summer when it was 100 degrees and the tape, I just didn't, and I didn't use like some crazy tape. The only thing is I should have took pictures of where I taped it, because then I would have been able to match it with theirs and say, that's not where I taped it. But I didn't. And like I said, I laughed because I couldn't prove it, because I didn't do my due diligence. And I wouldn't do that no more. I would tell them, even when I get new games from Best Buy, sometimes it's loose inside. It is what it is. Nothing happens to the game. It's just a little loose. I would never tape it again. But again, I think some young kids got me, and I just had a laugh. Sometimes you laugh when you think, okay, they got me. It was like 50 bucks. And to me, it wasn't even 50 bucks. It was a used game just laying around. So, but besides that, I've been lucky. So And if I do end up shipping this box, again, I'm going to call the number tomorrow. I'm also leaving them a message. And if I don't get a response out of either one, I'm still 50-50 on shipping it or not. It's a $600 item. You know, I could do all my due diligence, record. All the seals are sealed from the factory. I never opened it yet. So that I'm not worried about. I'm just worried about somebody claiming stolen credit cards, because then it don't matter what you ship them, you're kind of like asked out. That's why I have to speak to them first, and I need them to leave a message on eBay that they know that the item was purchased. Because then if they try to claim it was a stolen credit card, it wouldn't matter, because you already left a message saying you knew it was being shipped and bought. So yeah, I'm gonna leave them that message tonight so they have a whole day. What do you need, Max? My son, he's right behind that wall. He's playing, you know, he plays like the same Kirby game. Not only does he play the same game, he plays like the same part of the game over and over and over and over and over. And I love him, but sometimes it's so hard, because I want to play. Like I'll play the games over and over. I just can't play the same part of the game over and over. You know, even when he plays, the few times he will play, he speed runs everything, and he never gets like the things he needs, and I'm even okay with that. I just can't play the same boss. He likes playing the Kirby game, not the new one, the one that's a few years old, or even a little older than that, with Void Termina. That's the character he likes to beat, because it's like a few parts. First you're flying, then you're inside his body, then you're flying again, and then I think you're inside the body again. But there's only so many times I could watch the same thing. I wanted to, I have a few RCs coming this week, and I have a few RCs that I got like 2-3 weeks ago I didn't open yet. I got the Quake from Armor. When it was released, I got it, which was probably going on a few weeks now. The Raptor Ultimate I got when that was released, and that was probably the end of August, and it's still sitting in a box. I didn't even cut the tape yet. I have something even older than that that's still in a box. It's the Son of a Digger, the 8 scale, the 2.0, the freestyle version. I got that when it was released like 8 months ago. It's still in my basement. I didn't cut the tape off. And then I have probably a dozen RCs like this one that I didn't even take out. I took this out yesterday for the first time. I had it for like 8 months, 9 months, maybe longer. Whenever this was released, I got it. And I just took it out yesterday. I have the Seton, or the Satan, however you say it, the S-E-N-T, this E-N, I believe, the Seton. I have that one when it came out with the brushless version. Since it was released, still not, used. I probably have about 6 or 7 RCs that I opened but didn't use them yet. I have a few crawlers. No, probably more than that, because I have the hauler from Red Cat. I opened the box but never used. I have from CEN, from Sin, they have like the lifted truck with the lights underneath it. I opened the box and never used it. I have at least 3 or 4 crawlers. I have the 2 FMS vehicles I didn't use yet. The Colorado 10 scale, I got it but didn't put a battery in it. I took it out of the box, but I didn't run it yet. I also have the FMS Bronco, the 8 scale. It's out of the box, didn't run it yet. I also have the FMS, 2 of the trucks. One is a brushless 10 scale, and then I have a brushed 10 scale. Man, I probably have a dozen RCs that I opened the box but I didn't use. And I just feel like I'm gonna get backed up even more. I'm trying to play some games at nighttime. I did open up this Hyper-Go when it came last week. I opened up the Summit, Axel made limited edition Summit Gladiator I bought. I opened it up. I charged the battery, didn't use it yet. But yeah, that eBay. And you know what else I find funny on my eBay, it says if you have YouTube, you could save 10% on everything you buy. All you have to do is go to my YouTube, subscribe to my channel, which is free. It takes 10 seconds. So he would have saved 60 bucks just by going to my YouTube and hitting subscribe. I subscribe to people's channels for free all the time because if I could help a content creator out, as long as I'm not against what they're doing, even if I don't watch the channel often, why wouldn't I help someone? It's the first time in life that we could actually help someone without physically really doing anything or giving them money. You're literally hitting subscribe and a like, which take you maybe a second. Imagine if everyone helped each other out like that. I mean, you have to be really low to like not help somebody out. Again, there's things I follow that not even like hobbies I like, flowers or gardening or some crazy stuff. And if somebody has a channel, it doesn't hurt me by hitting subscribe. I mean, I may not watch a lot of it because it's not technically what I like, but I don't know. If I could help somebody out, I will. But at least in my case, I make it worth people's while. You subscribe to my channel, you get 10% off of my eBay. Now, that doesn't mean he had to have an eBay channel. Some older people or even younger people don't have eBay, don't understand YouTube, don't understand how it works. If they hear you got to subscribe to get 10% off, they may be thinking it's going to cost them. So I understand not everybody understands what it is. But I would think somebody young enough to buy my Evercade would know that he could save 60 bucks literally by doing basically nothing. So, yeah, I can't believe too. Look at the time. Look how dark it is already. It's 7:18. This is depressing. It's dark. This is how it used to look at 8:30 just a month ago. Just a month ago. And I hope we get rid of that fallback crap where you put the time ahead and back, because then all of a sudden it really drastically changes, and I hate it. And I know they were voting on it and they were supposed to stop it, but then something else happened. I can't stand it. Because then all of a sudden it goes from like 6:30 to dark to 5:30. And next thing you know, it's dark at 4:30. It's just depressing being in the dark. I was watching somebody yesterday. They were talking about how many summers does a 50-year-old have left? And I'm 52. How many winters do they have left? How many birthdays do they have left? Like even my dad, I didn't speak to him yesterday and today, which is his fault too, because it's almost like if he doesn't need me, he don't call me, which is kind of BS because I handle everything he does. His marketing, not his marketing, his supermarket, his medicine. I mean, I take him to his doctors. I used to ask him literally daily, can I pick you up, hang out in my backyard, see your grandson? And he constantly tells me, no, I'm okay. I like being home. I watch movies. It's like, man, if that's the case, then I'm not just hanging out at your house to BS. I mean, I love my dad, but he doesn't, he never made the extra effort. He was like those old-fashioned dads who you just didn't expect to do much. Like I have a friend who's my sister's age, so he's gonna be 50. His father still buys him things like he's a kid, which is great. I mean, if he was into like remote control cars, his father would buy him a nice remote control car. If he was into computers, his father buys him a nice computer. His mother, on the other hand, wasn't as nice, but his father was, whew. And my dad, I mean, my birthday came and went. He didn't even call me. I called him, and he basically just said, oh, what are you doing for your birthday? That was the extent of it. Meanwhile, without me, he can't operate. I'm the one who literally gets all his food, his supplies, his medicine. When he has to go to the doctor, I take him. And yeah, that's my dad, but that's the whole purpose. I mean, I wish my dad was more like a dad too sometimes, or even be like a grandfather to my son. My son graduates. If my mother was alive, she'd be buying him graduation gifts, she'd be buying him Easter gifts, Halloween gifts. And she always said if she died first, it was going to be rough. So originally what she did is she put money on the side, a lot of money on the side. And originally it was supposed to go half to me, half to my sister. And she said the reason behind that was because she knew my dad wasn't the type to do all these things. Well, when my mom died, instead of making sure I had my half, she left it so that my sister got it. And she said, "Oh, daddy may need this money in the future, so we're putting it over here." And I mean, my dad don't need the money. He makes triple what he needs every month. My dad's in pretty good shape for his age, financially wise. He's not loaded, but they were careful enough, that he makes enough money. Some old people out there barely make enough money for rent and stuff. He has extra insurance that he pays for every month because my mom always did. And he still has, he's literally, a few $1,000s extra every month that he has to play with. But yeah, he done. And that was my mom's fault too. She died. She should have made sure, like if I knew I was dying, I would make sure everybody had what I wanted to give them way before that time came. I'm like, my mom even left me a note. But when I got the note, it had tape on it. How do I know my mom didn't tape it up or somebody read it and retaped it up? I had no way of knowing. Like you couldn't think of, you weren't smart enough to make sure I had that first. So now I don't know if there was things missing out of the letter. I don't know if she just went back and forth a bunch of times and retaped it, which I had no way of knowing. But my mom was also dying for a year. Like, you should have been smarter than that, Mom. I don't know if you're looking down from heaven, but, not only that, even make a video. Like, when I thought I was sick, and I still make videos for my son. I made videos for my son to tell him happy birthday, happy graduation, congratulations on his wedding. I mean, the kid was, last year, 10 years old. Just in case if I wasn't around, he knew I would always be proud of him. I would be proud of him no matter who his partner is. I'm not that type of dad. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. And I want him to know that if I'm not here to tell him. But my point is, leave it on video and stuff so that people have it. My family just didn't handle that too well. And I know I feel like I'm always complaining on here. It's just you guys are like the people I vent to. And that's going to be part of the channel. I don't want it. My channel is not just going to have shows about RCs or BMX or the DJ culture. It's also going to have just straight talk. And I know a lot of people who like to straight talk or at least straight to listen. What I need to do is figure out a way that I could actually, what do you call it? Interact with the crowd better if there is even a crowd. I have a friend of mine who does YouTube pretty good, and he's going to come over next week and show me how he does everything. Right now, I'm kind of just talking into thin air. I don't even know who's watching or not. Tomorrow's Sunday. Tonight I'm going to leave that guy a message. As soon as I'm done with you guys, I'm going to leave the guy on eBay a message who spent that money, $600. And if I don't get no response, and again, I already left him a message. I wanted to see if he was going to say something. I left him a message to let him know I had Mega Man too, if he was interested, just to see if I could get him to chit chat, and he didn't. So I'm going to leave him a message tonight and let him know, because of the value of this, I have to make sure he ordered it. If I don't hear from him by Monday, it's getting canceled. I'm not taking a chance on a $600 scam. And he's in Queens too. If I was younger, I would have drove it to his house. Just don't have the time. And going into like the city these days stress me out with the traffic. But man, if this was 25 years ago, I would have been out there with some friends, because I had friends. I mean, I'm Bronx born, but Brooklyn and Queens, I was there all the time. I would have just drove right by his house and rang the bell. Ding dong, you ordered this? So I got to make sure that's not a scam. I also have some special things I'm going to put on eBay, but I'm going to put it on without the right description so that strangers most likely won't find it right away. But what I'm going to do is make it a 24-hour auction. And I'll go live with you guys and let you guys know what's there. And you guys are going to be the only ones with the first dibs, because let's say I have an RC car. I'm not going to list it as like a Armored Typhoon. I may list it as something, you know, a little more discreet so that the average person don't see it, so that you guys, because I think the shortest you can make auction is a day. So I would go on live like the last hour, let you guys see it, and you guys would be like the first ones to dib. And what I'm going to do is do some really, like, starting at like $1. And as long as you're a subscriber, you also get free shipping. Normally I don't do free shipping. Normally I just do the 10%. But this is a way that I'll reward the subscribers. I can't stop other people from bidding, so I can't say only subscribers could win. But what I can do for the auction is, instead of giving them 10% back, I could just maybe do like free shipping or something. But I want to do something to reward the subscribers, and I'm going to have some like crazy deals up there for you guys. For the lower 48 states for now. Some video games, some RC cars, and a lot of, you know, really cool items. A lot of items I bought and just realized I don't need. You know, I have a habit of seeing something, pulling the trigger, and then realizing it just sits there. Like, I even just bought the new Ultra Go camera. Let me see, can I show you guys in here? How do I put the light back on? Let me open the door. I want to show you guys something. Okay, did the light go back on? Yes. Now, this is the original Go. It's not the original, it's the Go S something. And this whole front piece comes out. You see it? And this is the camera. This little piece is a camera, so you can put it on a truck. Well, they came out with a new camera, a new one where the screen is even smaller. Of course, I bought it. It's inside. But I have so many cameras I bought because I wasn't sure which ones I was going to use. I'm going to sell some of them because I don't need 6 different kinds of cameras. I have some microphones that I don't use. So, you know, I don't want to say my loss is your gain, because I don't want to put it that way, but I just buy a lot of things to try them, to see which ones I like. And I don't want to keep them all. I'm not going to store, you know, a dozen cameras, a dozen microphones. I'm just going to keep the ones that I really like. So, same with my RC cars. I'm going to make some videos. Like, I just put up a short earlier of all my hype. I think I put one up last week, but I forgot. So I put another one up today, because somebody made a video about Hyper-Go cars. So I put up a video of all the ones I own. I think I own every Hyper-Go car except their large crawler, their large red rally car, and one smaller buggy. But besides that, I have them all. And I put up a short real quick to show you guys. And I'm going to do that with all the RCs I have, all the Traxxas, all the FMS, all the Armor, all the Red Cat, um, all the other brands I can't think of offhand, the Serpents. And I'm also going to show you guys what I like, what I don't like. But I'm not keeping all the Hyper Go cars to keep like a collection, because if that was the case, I'd buy the few that I'm missing. I think I'm missing 3. I'm getting rid of a lot of them because I also realized 18 and 20 18 and 20 scale for bashes are no good. They're too small. I To me, I don't like them. So there's certain sizes I'm getting rid of. I realized I don't mess around with the larger ones often, like the 5 scale and 7 scale, just because they're more tedious. It's a pain in the neck. Most of them need 2 batteries. They're just bigger to move around. So that's why I'm not in a rush to buy like the big size ones. Matter of fact, I'm selling that's another company I'm going to put all the ones I have, like Volario. I think I have a dozen of them. I bought the, what is it, the JK07, the one, not the last big crawler, but the one before that that had the tent on the roof. I don't like the extra accessories. Like for me, I would rather the new one that they have, because the new one is a little smaller and it doesn't have all those accessories. For me, I don't need the accessories because I'm not going to use my car, take all the accessories out, set it up, take a picture, and then put it, like, that's just not how I play with the RC. So I wanted, and that thing is huge, taking up space. I have the brushless version, the orange one. I'd like to sell that locally, but I'm going to give somebody a good deal for that. And I don't even know if I'm going to buy the other one that just came out a month or 2 ago, because I have so many good Red Cat and FMS crawlers at a 10 scale, and that's probably my favorite scale. It's big enough to do what I need to do, but not too big where it's a pain in the neck to store it. And as I'm talking to you guys, I have some pain in my stomach. That's another topic I'm going to speak about. Not only mental health, but physical health. You know, ADHD is something that's been crushing me for a while, and I feel like it's gotten worse. So it was worse when I was in like 3rd grade. Then I kind of felt like I handled it up until maybe a decade ago, and then it got worse again. But physical health, I have Crohn's disease, and 15 years ago, I'm here 13 years, so yeah, about 15, 16 years ago is when I first had some kind of problem. I'm not even going to explain how it was, but it was basically, what do they call it when you get like a funnel in your skin? I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, I had it in the worst spot, and the doctors had no idea what it was. So they sent me to like different specialists, and one doctor, they actually put me to sleep. They cleaned it out and they stitched it up. A few months later, the pus, what do you call it, kind of funneled its way back out again. Anyway, long story short, it was Crohn's. And now I know it's one of the symptoms of Crohn's. A fistula, that's what it is, a fistula. For like a year, no doctors had no clue what it was. They, you know, again, I think I had it sewed up twice, and they both just reopened up. I mean, again, that was 15 years ago, another time to be alive, man. I remember even my doctor, Dr. Kale, who retired at the time, like being puzzled from it. Anyway, when we finally realized what we thought it was, I felt something growing in my stomach. And I'm glad this didn't happen today, because if it happened today, I would be scared to death. Anyway, I felt something in my stomach growing, and I explained it to the doctors almost like a baby. I know I'm a guy, I must not know how that feels, but it just felt very weird in my stomach. When I would lay on my right side, I would actually feel something hanging in my body. I'm not sure what happened with the CAT scans or the MRIs, because I did have them, but I went in to have surgery at Einstein, and I was supposed to have laparoscopic surgery. It was supposed to be 3 holes, the 2 sides and 1 in the middle, and they were going to go inside and see what was up. Anyway, when I was out, obviously they didn't wake me up, but they went into the hallway to tell my wife and my mom that there's like something in my stomach the size of a freaking football. And of course, that scared everybody, because if you tell somebody there's like a football in their stomach, what do you know, I'm sure my mom and everybody was scared to death. Long story short, they took it out. I woke up, instead of having 3 little spots, I had a complete zipper down my belly, straight through my belly button. I hated it because I couldn't walk for a few days. I mean, it was sucked. And originally that wasn't supposed to happen. Anyway, they took it to the labs and it was all benign. Now, what kind of luck is that you have something like a football? And the doctor surgeon said, I've never seen something like that ever before. So since then, I've been going to a doctor in the Bronx. He had me on Asacol for like a decade, and I didn't have any trouble, knock on wood, because if I had to go through that surgery again, like imagine if you had to go through that surgery every few years, man, it would definitely be not good. Because not only that, they eventually have to take out like some of your insides. Eventually, you're gonna have no insides left. But Asacol kind of kept things, I guess, at bay. I'll have pain from time to time, and then it'll go away. Then my insurance companies didn't want to cover Asacol after like a decade. Too expensive, and like without the insurance, it's like $800. It's ridiculous. So then they put me on something that my doctor said is similar. It's just a different name, and they cover it, and it's a Spiro. And I've been on that for a year or two now. I do get some pain. Like a minute ago, I felt a little pain. It's on the right side. And it's scary because a regular person, if you have pain there, you run to the doctor. Somebody like me, I have pain there often. You know, my doctor tells me, you know, if it changes, like if it's more or worse, but it's not fun. You know, it's like a chronic condition. I did my colonoscopy last year. It wasn't 100% clean. This year I'm doing the pills because I can't do the liquid. Every time I try to do the liquid, I get sick, I get nauseous, I get headaches. Pills are a little bit easier. You get like 32 pills. I think they're called 2 tabs. Just easier than drinking that poison. I do that in a few weeks. But that's why I say with the mental and the physical, I also have a back disease called, they call it AK for short. I can't even pronounce it. It's like ankylosing spondylosis. Whatever it is, it's your bones fuse. Your spine basically fuses, and that's why I have a little bit of a curve. Now, I asked the doctor years ago, am I going to be one of those old guys where I'm walking, touching my toes? They said no, they didn't think so, but who knows? I went to a rheumatologist. They took a bunch of CAT scans or whatever it was. And just as I went back to see her, the rheumatologist who took me like 6 months to go see, she said something about my x-rays, but then she said, I'm leaving the hospital. There won't be another rheumatologist here until like October. And this was like 6 months ago. I'm like, wow, I found a rheumatologist and now you're leaving. But she made it sound like there was nothing that she could do because everything looked like said and done. And she said she wouldn't be sure if like the medicine would even help, like with a little bit of the pain. But yeah, now look, I was gonna say I got hit, you know, with the unlucky, you know, but there's people out there that wish they had what I have because, you know, theirs is way worse, right? I guess that's how you have to look at it. I do think it's gonna be my downfall one day. Not the back disease, but the Crohn's disease. Yeah. You know, the one thing I am all the time, I don't know if I don't get enough sleep, is I'm tired. When I tell you, out of a 24-hour day, I could probably sleep 15 hours of it. Now, I don't know if I don't sleep well, and that's why, like last night, my son was tired around 10:30, so I laid with him. And then like 11:30, I woke up, and then I went to bed around 4. Then again, I woke up again this morning like at 9, but just for a minute, and went back to bed and woke up at 12. So how much sleep did I really get tonight? Sometimes it seems longer, but if I went to bed at 4, yeah, I'll be right there. They're doing s'mores in the back. If I went to bed, I slept 1 hour and woke up. Then I was up until 4 o'clock and basically stayed in bed till like 9. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 5 or 6 hours, and then I had another 2 or 3. So it's not even straight. It's broken up. So yeah, I had 8 or 9 hours, and it was not even together. I know they say I also have type 2 diabetes, but so they say a little bit of everything could make you tired. The AK could make you tired because my doctor explained it like, imagine trying to stand up straight. Your body's naturally trying to curve now because of your muscles of your back is fused together. So by you standing up, you're constantly fighting, and that makes you tired, right? Because it's almost like you're exercising all day. That's the way he explained it to me. Crohn's disease also could make you tired. So between Crohn's, the back disease, I don't think the diabetes makes me tired much, but man. But like I said, can I complain? I've been following people on Instagram who have it way worse than I do. Yeah, I'm so tired right now, but I'm gonna go and have a s'mores with everybody in the back. I'm not gonna goof around with my cars right now. But you see, this is how time goes by. I wanted to play with my cars. I should get up early and do it, but like tonight, my son will go to bed at 9:30. I'll lay with him. 10:30, I'll get up. I can't do that outside, so I end up goofing around inside. Maybe I'll mess around with my 18 and 24 scale crawlers, and I have some upgraded parts for my new Summit, the 24 scale Summit. I have to say though, between playing some new games and then getting hooked on looking at like Instagram posts, it's crazy. You could literally, Instagram is like a black hole. You could get sucked into one thing, leading to another thing, leading to another thing. I could start looking for like health things, and then I see something from like the 80s, and then I see something about Christmas, then I see something about this and that. It's literally a never ending, man, definitely consuming, and I have to put a stop, because then I don't do what I'm supposed to do, because I'm checking, stupid things out. Anyway, I'll do the eBay thing with you guys, with the auction where only you guys will get like first dibs during the week. I'll also have some shows organized. I have some reviews going up with some BMX legends for people interested in BMX, freestyle, old school races. I have some interviews going up with some DJs for the DJ side. I'm going to put all the shows up, and you'll see the different shows. So if somebody's interested in this, you check that out. So if somebody just wants to chill and chat like we're doing tonight, I'm going to do those a lot just because I like to chat with you guys, whether it's one person listening or 100 people listening or 1,000 people listening. And eventually, I'm going to set it up so that I could communicate back and forth with people. I'm even going to have a text message up there, so if people want to send me text messages, they could do it. All right. Wish me luck. I'm going to have a s'mores or two now. Ciao, everyone.